you were born in Vietnam,
Yeah.
and how did you, or you don't remember, but how did your family end up in Australia?
So I was born in Vietnam. We started the trip on the boat, I'm assuming when I was 1.5. Mum told of stories where we had to hide in the boat at the dock until it was midnight, until they could leave the bay, because at that time there was no guards and things like that. Yeah. Or they brought out the guards or something like that, so that we could pass through the waters. And they would dose the kids up with sleeping tablets. And apparently I was dosed with a lot of tablets.
Oh, wow.
Luckily I didn't die. Just to keep them quiet and not cry, because it was hot and stuffy under the boat. I don't think the boat was a small fishing boat, so it's probably a storage area that we were under, and there was like 100 people in the boat. So that's like that. So we stayed there until midnight. They go out, and then you're at sea, tossed in the big ocean, and the boat would break and almost capsize. And then luckily we were found by a mining ship or something like that, or some sort of big ship. I don't know what they were.
Do you know where the ship was headed to?
We were pretty close in Malaysia.
Yeah.
So they called the Bidong Islands. I haven't looked up that up or where it is. But we were close to there, so they gave us enough fuel to keep going because we ran out of fuel. But at the end, they reassessed the ship and they said there's no way you could even go further, even with fuel. So they actually were going to pull us along to the island. But then even then, the boat didn't hold.
Oh, no.
So they got us all on the ship.
Oh, wow.
So they pulled all the people onto the ship. So kids and women were first. And I were told that they were really, really nice. I don't remember anything. I was given apples and cakes and lots of food. They came and check on you. They bring you to the ship, make you sure that you've had food and drinks. And so went to sleep, and then they took you to the island. And
And do you know if the boat was it headed for Australia, or was it just to try and get out anyway?
It was pretty much just leaving the country.
Yeah.
It wasn't particularly heading anywhere. They didn't have compasses or anything really, so they were just leaving and hope for the best.
And what sort of time period was this? Was this post-war? I guess it would have been.
It would have been post-war.
And everyone, all the locals were just trying to just get out to avoid communism, or what was?
I don't really know very much about the Vietnam War. I guess I can't block out that part of history because I don't want to know about it.
Yeah.
It's also very confusing when I try to understand, because there's the Chinese, the Americans, the French, and
Russians,
the Japanese. They were all in the country doing their own thing, agenda. And, I had no idea what was going on. But all I can understand is that they were poor, and a lot of the guys were drafted. So that was the main motivator for my family to leave, because all my uncles were drafted, and they didn't want to go to war or go into the army, because oftentimes you come back disabled or whatever.
And then have you had a chance to speak to, I guess, your mum or anyone who was involved, or are they trying to block it out?
No, my mother regularly tells us at the very start, not anymore, but at the start, a lot of stories about what happened, what she knew, what she heard on the island.
Yeah, crazy.